In unfortunate situations, sometimes your income does not get properly reported to Social Security, and this statement will show clearly if this is the case. Your reported earnings plays a critical role in how much and whether or not you are entitled to a short-term or long-term benefit. In this broadcast, we have shared with you three very important reasons for reviewing a contribution statement and how you can make the most of your annual statement. To supplement the contribution statement, it is equally important to keep payslips to act as a check and balance of the wage information recorded at Social Security. We encourage all employees and self-employed persons to visit their nearest Social Security office. Email us at customersservice@socialsecurity.kn or call direct or WhatsApp at 869-662-8476 or 668-2545 or 669-2545 to request yours today. While doing so, be sure to update your contact information, including your current address, telephone number, and email so that you can receive all correspondence sent to you. For more information, please feel free to contact our Corporate Communications Department at 465-2535 or 469-5245. That is all the time we have for this edition of Social Security 5. Until we come your way again, this is Beyond Basu, encouraging you to secure your future and know the status of your contributions.
To be sure of your benefits, sickness and maternity, I'll tell you about the rest of it. Survivors grant your spouse and kids get the best of it. Let me mention pension when you're 60.
It's the start of the week. It's time for a new perspective. It's time for Unfiltered. Join Azar Gums, lawyer and deputy leader of the People's Action Movement, for raw and unfiltered political analysis of the current events in St. Kitts and Nevis. Tune in every Sunday evening from 7:30 p.m. on WinFM. Join Azar Gums as he breaks the mantle and cuts through the unfiltered political noise to bring you the facts. Unfiltered every Sunday evening on WinFM 98.9.
WINN is 98.9. 98.9 is Win FM.
Do you want to know what's happening in sport? Tune in to On The Ball, a weekly tour show which is on WinFM 98.9 every Tuesday from 7 to 9 p.m. with me, your host, Troy Biff Mills. We will keep you on the ball with our variety of guests and, of course, your calls, discussing the facts and the stats and sharing your opinions. Get on the ball and stay on the ball by tuning into On The Ball with Troy Biff Mills on WinFM 98.9 every Tuesday night from 7 to 9 p.m. and also on Facebook and YouTube. Be on the ball.
Welcome to Island Tea with your faves. Keep it locked in with us for your daily dose of hot tea only on Win Media 98.9.
Good morning, and how are we doing this morning? A pleasant good morning to one and all in the listening of my voice. Welcome to Island Tea. This is May 19th, so welcome to today's edition. Just to remind you, we're being simulcast on TVC Channel 40, Facebook, as well as YouTube. The numbers you can reach us at in the UK is 0333 440065, or in the US, two numbers, 1-718-285-6984 or 1-305-921-4619, or our local number 466-0989. And just to remind you, at 8:30 a.m. this morning, we have traffic talk, so stay tuned for that. Quint, good morning. How are you doing today?
Good morning. I'm fine, thank you. And you?
Trying my best to better what I did yesterday according to the advice I was given.
Okay, who gave you that advice?
Oh boy. I was looking at, first, I know we had a lot of rain, so some places got flooded over the weekend. Let me tell you, Anguilla, Antigua, Dominica, here in St. Kitts, and I was really concerned. I was wondering, was it the, how should I put it? I was wondering if it was drainage problems, because when I saw, I was like, what's happening in our countries? Because the waters were excessive. In Dominica, I see places that are, these people have a lot of cleaning up to do. Over here, we even had drips and rains in areas that we shouldn't had, and I'm really concerned because we have the hurricane season that's coming up, and this is, if this is a, how should I put it, a preview of what is to come. I don't want any
Well,
storms.
from my observation over the years, when it rains like this at this point of the year, it kind of bodes good for us because it means that most likely we might have more rain than a lot of wind. But there's the other side because when it rains, it pours, and it's a reminder. I remember years ago when it used to rain a lot, and in Bastia used to have a lot of flooding out. But because we didn't have that kind of rain for long periods, well, we have to get reaccustomed to what happens when it rains. I know living in the Virgin Islands, soon as it rained, everything flooded out. So I know that as a fact.
The pond in Frigate Bay is overflowing. I was over at the strip area yesterday, and I see cars had to park this way instead of in, so it was less parking, and the pond is full.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So brace ourselves. If it continues like this, get your mops and brooms.
Oh, that's a lot of work, you know. That's why I often say make sure you have your.
That is why I say it is better. Look, when the winds come, they tear off our roofs and that kind of stuff. So what do you prefer? To sweep out some water and mop out? Yeah, it's hard work, but I think that we would prefer that.
I don't want any of the two, but I want the rain. But I want it in moderation where we don't have floods and where we don't have to worry about no mop and no broom and no bucket
Well,
unless we're cleaning up the house.
Unfortunately, we can't have our cake and
Yeah, it's it too, I guess.
so-
And with climate change being real, oh my gosh.
I think I could be wrong, but I hope that the earth is kind of realigning itself. We've come to understand that the ozone layer is kind of repairing itself. If that is the case, then it means Mother Nature is going to go back to what she used to do before, and before we used to have a lot of rain. So
With the epic floodings, and that's why I was wondering, are the drains blocked? Who maintains these things? What's happening?
look, when it rains, remember that we have a lot of mountains, you know, and remember everything goes down to the sea. So when it comes from the mountains, what do you think is going to happen? Okay.
Because we say all the guts were running. Listen, we had so much water over the past few days. And let me tell you, Saturday, I was like, is this going to... Because it was forecasted to be almost the same on yesterday, Sunday, until about 4 p.m. Then the rain would have subsided. But I was like, thank God that wasn't the case. We had a dry day than the day before. So, yeah.
But here's a very interesting thing. Did you hear about what happened at the airport?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that is concern.
But a lot of other buildings too, because I saw something on Facebook as well with the Carden home.
Oh,
And
I
the
didn't know
water.
about the
So
Carden
I'm
home.
concerned. I'm like, oh boy. You see, every administration that goes in, we need to maintain our buildings. We can't just leave it for the next and say, oh, it's their business. No, it's their issue now, yes, but they didn't know. Or if they know, they didn't move fast enough. And I'm speaking for myself. I'm not speaking on
Morning,
behalf
guys.
of WinFM or anything. Good morning. How are you doing?
I'm good. Good to see y'all dry out. You made it in.
Amen.
With all the rain I see y'all were having down there.
Yep.
But at the airport, that's not a leak. That's beyond a leak.
Oh boy.
That is not what you don't call that a leak. No, sir.
Well, I heard that certain business places that are housed in the airport were making complaints to the government authorities about maybe getting
rain.
getting
water, yeah.
waterlogged and so on and so forth.
But I must commend the employees, though, including the ladies over and men over at customs. They did a good job. And in terms of recovery, let me tell you, they were on it. The floors, the arrival hall, they were mopping. They had the blowers. They were drying. They were working on Saturday evening. They were working. Yeah.
That the work, they stay there too long, they probably might have drowned.
Oh, Lord. Not at all. Not at all.
Cleo, you
Not a leak.
she likes a lot of fun.
I know. Yeah. But even the flooding over in Connery, too, I was actually shocked. I was like, oh.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That
I saw
that
a
kind of
video. I just was telling my husband, I don't remember growing up when we have a lot of rain, we have any flooding like that.
Exactly.
in Connery,
We
I
have
can't.
water coming down in the drain, but
Yeah.
I don't remember nothing like that.
I can't ever remember growing up in Connery that we flooded like that.
Exactly.
Exactly. That's what I was just telling T. I don't remember us having nothing like that
Yeah.
growing
So
up.
that means
Not
that
even one.
that means the designs for the housing leaves a lot to be desired. It's how they're putting their housing and roads and that kind of stuff. That is something that we're going to have to look at as we go forward.
Yeah. Because look
I
at
mean, I
context,
saw a vehicle
I was
trying
like,
to
is there
go
a
to
plug
the
somewhere?
water, and as it's going to his bumper just fall off. See the
Yeah, let me tell you, Saturday was rough because they were supposed to have Jesus in the city. I don't know if they had it because I was at work. So when the rain come down, I'd be like, oh boy. But I don't know if the concert was supposed to be after the parade or before, so I don't even know if that went off. So if anyone knowing if it went off and then the rain fell after, let us know. And I was like, the Lord held out his hand for the prostate screening to happen, and then after the rain just poured out. I'm like, okay, at least those folks got a good Saturday too, but other events had to cancel because it was bad. I saw traffic on the Kim Collins Highway backed up because, you know, the roundabout was flooded right there by the airport. It was a lot.
Well, the airport authority, they have a lot of work to do. As you say, hurricane season is upon us, so they have a lot of repairing to do. Otherwise,
Plenty.
the next time the airport gonna wash away with the people in there, the lady sitting on her seat and she foot like she's soaking in a one of those things where you go to the spa.
Listen, videos make get in circulation fast, you know. By the time I look around, I see all kind of things and all kind of social media outlets. I was like, what? Yeah.
Yeah.
But they have to get busy. They have to get busy going to the airport. Like, can you imagine it? I don't know. It looked like, was the airport busy? Was it busy? I don't even know if it was busy.
It had eased up at that time. I think it was just.
Can you imagine if the airport busy?
I think it was just a couple, maybe one big carrier to go, but it had eased up at that time.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll call back with another topic about domestic abuse, woman abuse, because I want to know, did y'all see the video with the man in Jamaica walking on the nurse's head?
Nope.
No.
There's a video going around with a guy in Jamaica. They say he's a businessman, but I guess he and the nurse were going home, and road rage, we'll say here in America, he jumped out his vehicle, pull out his gun, pull the nurse out of her vehicle, and literally walk on the woman's head.
So this is her person?
No, she don't know. She don't know him. They're not like involved.
Road rage,
just
she
was
said.
going home from work. Road rage.
Yeah.
But from what they say, it's not the first time he does something like that.
Okay.
But he's I guess a businessman down there and friend with the prime minister, so maybe he feel like he could get away with it. But too much things are happening to women.
Yeah.
Domestic violence is on a rampage. People are just abusing women too much now.
Yep, left, right,
All right, guy, I'll call back.
All right, thank you.
Okay. That bit of road rage, whoever he is, like I said some time ago, you know, there are people in high places, and usually it's the people in the highest places that are very, very abusive. They feel that because they make good money, they can just do people as they wish.
As they wish and get away with it.
Yeah. The judge who recently we heard about, Innocent, Mr. Innocent, again.
You say that name and I always remember what you said.
Yes.
Yeah.
That it shows people in high positions tend to be very abusive.
But you look at it, right? This is somebody that should be upholding the law. And this is what I said. When do you let your being, yourself, get the best of you, knowing that I'm a judge, I can't do that? Do I walk away? Do I get this person arrested? I have to, but...
It comes with entitlement. When you feel that you're not only a big person in society, but you feel you're entitled to a certain level of accommodation from people, then you act the fool, Yeah.
Yeah, it's basically acting the fool because you're not using wisdom. You're not thinking at that point that this is my profession.
Yeah.
So you act out. And I always look and be like, boy, as simple as it is, I have to remember this is my profession, so I can't behave like that because people are looking and and this is the thing, as human beings, we rejoice and we are happy and we're glad when somebody fails and we don't know when it's our turn. And that's why I said I wish people that occupy spaces of high integrity, that deserves high integrity, try their best to act as such, because at the end of the day we're human beings
and that
we're
is
gonna err,
that
we
is
have to
what
be mindful.
That is what Mr. Chesley Hamilton, the defense lawyer, was speaking about when he said he had a concern about these all judge assizes where the judge would sit and not a jury. You leave it up to one man to make a decision. Here you have, for instance, this individual who is a judge, who has a temper, who might have had some problems at home, came on the job, feel entitled, and he just makes decisions that affect you for the rest of your life. So this is why Chesley was saying he would rather deal with a jury of 12 individuals of your peers who have to mesh for a decision to be made, as opposed to one individual in his arrogant self or her arrogant self deciding he's going to be judge, jury, and executioner. And I agree with that. No. Okay? So let's take a bit of a commercial break, and we'll be back.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
Maybe it's the way the brilliant gold liquid reflects our sunshine, or how the bright blue of its label mirrors the clear Caribbean skies overhead. Maybe it's the fresh, crisp taste of this beastly cold beer on a scorching hot day. Maybe it's even the way it brings us all together. But one thing is for sure, Carib is very much a part of who we are wherever we're from in the Caribbean. Carib, it's the way we play. Drink responsibly.
TDC Home and Building Depot is turning up the savings. Shop exclusive deals on Thursday, May 22nd. Visit shoptdcgroup.com from 5 p.m. till midnight. Friday, May 23rd. Get 20% off select in-store items. Mega Reward members get 5% more. Saturday, May 24th. It's our Big Tent Sale with 75% off furniture, tools, and more. TDC, your favorite retail store.
St. Kitts and Nevis, it's time to celebrate! We're raising our glasses and saying cheers to 20 years as your trusted telecommunications provider. And because we love our amazing customers, we're giving you the chance to win. Every week, we've got exciting prizes just for you. And that's not all. Step into a cash vault for a shot at $2,000 in cash. To qualify, switch to judicial, activate a 3-day plan or higher. Pay your bill in full. Sign up for postpaid or a new Digital Plus internet package. Stay connected, keep enjoying the best service, and get ready to win. 20 years strong, and we're just getting started. Visit a Digicel retail store today.
Welcome to Island Tea with your faves. Keep it locked in with us for your daily dose of hot tea only on Win Media 98.9.
And as promised, we have our guest for Traffic Talk, Constable Bell, Constable Nisbet, and the lovely Sergeant Henry. Welcome back to the studios of Island T. And today we have the most interesting traffic topic I think there is. As I just told them, and yes, y'all can get me, they need to go out with a stick in the roundabout because people are constantly doing nonsense in the roundabout. So today's topic will be about the roundabouts. All right. So, Constable Bell, take it away, kind sir.
Yes, good morning. Good morning, good morning, Radio Land. As was stated just now, our topic today is roundabout. Okay? I personally feel the roundabout is an easy thing for us to adapt to, but I guess some people, they don't try to listen carefully or educate themselves enough to use the roundabout. Okay? I will let Constable Nisbet start and introduce himself.
Good morning. I'm Constable Nisbet.
Okay. What is a roundabout? A roundabout is a circular intersection where traffic moves in one direction, typically clockwise around a central island. Unlike most intersections with signals and stop signs, traffic flows continuously in a circular direction within the roundabout. Okay? Today, we're going to just identify 3 of the main roundabouts and the way in which to use those roundabouts when you're coming from all the directions and where you intend to go when you enter the roundabout. Okay? I will start with I'll let Nisbet start with the Shadwell roundabout, and then, but the roundabouts are the Shadwell roundabout, the airport roundabout, and the ECCB roundabout. Okay, those are the 3 most busy
Problematic
roundabouts where we get actually the most accidents from. So we plan to educate the public how to use the roundabout when they're coming from either direction. Okay, so I'll let Constable Nisbet explain the Shadwell roundabout.
Before we speak about the Shadwell roundabout, right, I just want to indicate what to do when approaching the roundabout. When you're approaching the roundabout, you're supposed to heel and give way to anything that is coming from your right. When you're approaching the roundabout, you slow down and you heel to anything that is already in the roundabout or coming from your right. You always give way from your right when it comes to the roundabout. When traveling from east to west on the F.T. Williams Highway and entering the roundabout, vehicles attempt to travel to Shadwell and St. Peter's area should take the inner lane to go to Shadwell. When you enter in the Shadwell roundabout on the F.T. Williams Highway, that's up there by the where you see they're selling the barbecue grills on the side of the road outside the airport stretch. When you're entering a roundabout to go to Shadwell or St. Peter's, you should enter the roundabout in the inner lane. When you're going to Greenland's direction or you're going straight across the F.T. Williams Highway, you take the outer lane. Right? That is the lane that you should be taking when you're traveling those directions. When you're traveling from the F.T. Williams Highway coming to town from Buckley side, coming to town in Shadwell roundabout, right? If you're going to Greenlands, you take the inner lane. If you're going straight, you take the outer lane, or if you're going to St. Peter's, you go into the outer lane. Right? When you're traveling from St. Peter's to go to Greenlands, right, you take that outer lane also. And then when you're traveling to Bastille, you take that outer lane. When you're traveling to Buckley side, you take the inner lane. So we know that you're going right around the roundabout. Okay? If you enter the roundabout in the wrong lane, you should indicate by using your indicators to show that you are going to change lane. But you just can't change lane just like that. You have to indicate early, even if you have to go around once and come back. You have to indicate that you're changing lanes. You don't just switch lanes inside the roundabout. Okay? Oh, when you're coming from Greenland's direction, sorry. Sorry, when you're coming from Greenland's direction and you want to go to Bastille, right, you take the inner lane to go to Bastille, to go right around. When you're going to St. Peter's or you're going to Buckley's direction, right, you take the outer lane. And that is what gets you where you want to go without causing any accidents. And we ask that when you're approaching the roundabout to slow down. Don't continue the pace that you come to the roundabout with. Slow down, because you don't know if anything gonna enter the roundabout before you or come around or something in there trying to change lane. We ask you to be cautious when you're dealing with the roundabouts.
I would have observed that most of, as you said, we slow down once we get there. Most of them have the arrows saying where you should go.
Yes.
The only thing that's missing is the arrows in the roundabout. So I still don't understand why is it we're not heeding. Is it that we don't understand where we're going? Because if we're going straight, we just go in the one that says straight or the one that has a turn if we're going to Buckley's, right? So I don't understand why we keep mixing up the roundabout.
You get a lot of accidents there because people don't slow down and they don't stop to allow the traffic to pass and before entering the lane. Right? A lot of the accidents, people tend to just slow down and just continue driving, right, without stopping. So they misjudge the speed of the vehicle that is in the roundabout, and that is what caused a lot of the accident in that roundabout, in Shadwell roundabout specifically.
Yes, and also persons who adopt the proper way, which is slowing down and yield by the give way. Sometimes the people behind of them just expect them to just drive out, maybe because that is something they might have done, and then you get a rear end collision.
Yeah.
You get a lot of those rear end collisions at the roundabout. Yes. So the ECCB roundabout.
I've seen many cars going the other way.
Yes, the ECCB roundabout. Now, if you're traveling from Frigate Bay and you're attempting to go to Bastille using the Frigate Bay Road, Pond Road area, automotive arts direction. Now, you should travel in the left lane because you're going straight ahead.
Yes, the Frigate Bay.
If you're attempting to go to Bird Rock direction, you stay in that left lane also. However, if you're attempting to go to the airport direction, King Collins Highway, you take the inner lane because now you're making a right turn.
So
if you intend to travel back to Frigate Bay because, hey, I forgot something, I have to go back to Frigate Bay, you stay in that inner lane, which is the right lane, if you want to make a U-turn also. You were just
because I'm checking if I am coming from automotive art area, right? Yes. I'm going to Rams. Could I not stay in the inner lane and then come indicate and come out where it has the opening there? I call it the cutout. Yeah. That may not be the correct name, but where they have the break in the lines. Yes. Could I not indicate and come out there?
Yes.
Okay.
And we encourage persons to begin their turn signal after they pass their last exit the previous exit before the last exit. I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say. If you're coming around the roundabout, you're going to Bird Rock. After you pass the giveaway at the Frigate Bay Road, you start indicating to show that, hey, I am going to Bird Rock.
Yeah, I'm going to
You don't wait until you reach by the giveaway at Bird Rock to start cutting in and indicating, because you would have had persons who have entered the roundabout to go to probably the same direction but came from the King Collins Highway and are now in the outer lane. So you're now trying to merge into the outer lane to exit. So that's why we ask for clear indication. And that is something that will lack also and cause accidents unnecessarily. Now, back to automotive arts direction, since you directed me there. If you're trying to travel to Bird Rock or take a U-turn, go back down the road, as I said, if you forgot something, you enter in the right lane, which is the inner lane. If you're going to Frigate Bay or you're going to the Kim Collins Highway, you enter in the outer lane. Okay? If you're coming from the Kim Collins Highway and you're attempting to travel to Bird Rock, you stay in the outer lane. If you're going to Frigate Bay, you stay in the outer lane. If you're going to Bastille, now you enter in the inner lane, which is the right lane. If you intend to go back to the airport direction, you also enter in the right lane to make that U-turn. If you're coming from Bird Rock, attempting to go to the airport, you enter in the outer lane. You're going to automotive arts direction, TDC direction, same outer lane. If you're going to Frigate Bay or back to Bird Rock, then you enter in the inner lane, which is the right lane. I think me speaking about it, it makes
We're
it
different.
clear, but I hope persons are listening and understanding, because the marks are there in the road, for these roundabouts, and it's so funny that the roundabouts that are not marked out are where we get the least accidents. The airport roundabout now. I don't know if Nisbet would want to touch on it.
Yes. The airport roundabout, it has, when you're coming from Connery direction, right? When you're going to Bastille, right? You take the inner lane, the outer lane, sorry, when you're going to Bastille.
Coming from Connery.
Coming from Connery.
Okay.
Right? Okay. Right? When you're coming from Connery direction and you're heading to Bastille, you take the outer lane. And then when you're going to the highway, you would take the inner lane. Or when you're going to the airport, you will go around in the inner lane. Right? When you're coming from Connery also, we created a path for you to take, a lane for you to take when you're going to Frigate Bay direction. So you don't have to go in the outer lane that is going to Bastille to go to Frigate Bay.
Yeah.
You just take the slip and you go out and you go straight around to Frigate Bay direction. Right?
That's coming from Connery.
That's when you're coming from Connery.
Yeah, just to make it clear.
That's to reduce the congestion for the vehicles that might be in the giveaway at the roundabout.
Also, when you're coming into Connery now, there's also a slip aside, a lane that is created for the buses, right? That was created to deal with the congestion of the passengers jumping in and out the bus, and to avoid anything. So only the buses supposed to really take that lane, or somebody who going to pick up someone at the bus stop should be taking that lane.
Okay.
It's not a lane just for you to overtake people, right? It's for you to go and pick up somebody at the bus stop.
Okay.
Right? If you're going into Connery, you should take the regular route and go straight.
Okay.
Right? Not go through the lane.
Okay.
Also, when you take the slip lane to go into Kim Collins Highway. You also also when you take that slip lane to go into F.T. Williams, sorry, Kim Collins Highway, you must yield for the traffic that is coming in that road, not just go ahead.
And
You
shoot out.
yield to make sure that nothing is coming, and then you continue.
And you see, as we speak to courteous drivers, that is one of the lanes that I see drivers are real courteous to. When persons come to that slip lane, someone is always willing to let you out before they
Yeah,
pass coming
exactly.
out. I experienced that. People are very courteous at that area. So
Does it make sense?
Yes.
Go ahead. I'll continue later. Yeah.
So, to continue with the airport roundabout, if you're coming from the F.T. Williams Highway and you intend to go to Frigate Bay, you stay in the outer lane. The same lane you would stay in if you're attempting to go to Connery or to the airport itself. If you're going to Bastille or back on the
Home.
bypass,
Yeah, because you forgot something.
then you take that inner lane.
Right lane.
If you're coming from Wellington Road, Nevis, you're attempting to go to Connery, the airport, or F.T. Williams Highway, you take the outer lane. You're attempting to go to Frigate Bay, back down to Wellington Road, you take the inner lane. You're coming from Frigate Bay, Kim Collins Highway, sorry. You're going to Bastille, the bypass, or to the airport. You stay in the outer lane. You're going to Connery, or back to Kim Collins Highway. You stay in the inner lane. And I don't even have to look on a paper to explain these directions because it's clear.
That's what I'm saying. It's marked out.
It's clear.
You just have to follow it, even though the roundabouts don't have the marks to take you around.
Sometimes we wonder if the persons are angry with the signs because they keep knocking them out. The signs are there to educate them, but they hit them.
Yeah.
And I don't understand why these signs are getting hit so much when it's in an area where they're supposed to come to a stop.
Yeah, the yielded signs are bent up plenty. I'm shocked. Trust me. I see it all the time.
So persons are approaching the roundabout at an unsafe speed. And we have had some serious accidents, whether from rear end, from persons failing to stop at the gateway, getting hit in the side, or them hitting someone traveling around the boat. And the slightest touch with a vehicle moving, especially on an angle turning, could flip those vehicles and cause serious injuries. And I don't think persons will take the roundabouts serious. Sometimes persons run straight into the roundabout itself. Straight into the roundabout itself. And they keep saying they didn't realize the roundabout was ahead. So what I'm saying, what if a pedestrian was there?
But we don't have signs to say approaching the roundabout or... I give up. I would have said maybe somebody lost control of the vehicle and they end up in the roundabout, but oh my gosh, listen. Oh boy. Human beings.
While we're on the airport roundabout, especially, right, it's not, we're just asking for a little courtesy for the pedestrians. You know, people walk from the airport, come down and try to go into town or try to catch bus, right? You know, the bus stop, they have to cross the road to catch the bus to go into Bastille, right? But people tend to, even when rain falling, don't allow the pedestrian to pass because they have the right of way, right? We are asking persons, what if it was your parent in the rain, standing up in the rain, would like to pass? Would you just want somebody to let them get wet down, right? Or would you want somebody to just pass and flick the water up on top of them? We wouldn't want that for ourselves. So why don't we treat people the way we would like to be treated. Right? The pedestrians gonna pass. Right? They're gonna run across the road as quick as possible because they know you have the right of way. But we're just asking for you to stop and allow them to pass. Right? It's not gonna take a half an hour for somebody to pass across the road. Right? Even if you are late, you can just allow the person to pass. They have to catch bus or give the person a lift if you're going in the direction. If you know the person, right? Don't just allow them to stand up on the side of the road for a very long time, just waiting for somebody to be courteous. Everybody have a role to play, and we're asking everybody to try to be kind to these pedestrians. I see children and all walking across there, and they wouldn't allow the children to pass across the road. I don't understand why, right? The roundabout doesn't have a crossing. We know that, right? So there's no right of way for no pedestrian or stuff. But have a little courtesy.
Yes, yes. And to add to what Nisbet is saying, most of the time when persons are there trying to cross is when they're probably going to work or coming from work. And it's the same timing when persons are traveling in their vehicle to or from work.
Yeah.
So it's a very busy road, and for the person to be waiting and standing up hoping, okay, let me see when the traffic slow down, that would be a long time. And then that would just force the person now to risk
make a wrong decision
trying to run across the road when an oncoming vehicle is coming.
Yeah.
And then they're going to use that as ammunition against the pedestrian.
But can we not get a crossing right there by where Hidden Treasures is, where we come out from Kumar's? Because that's where most people go across to. That's where most people go across to catch a bus.
Well,
especially those persons who don't have their own vehicles.
That's something we could...
I could ask the lovely lady over there?
Yes.
Okay, lovely lady over there.
What to do when exiting a roundabout? When exiting a roundabout, it is crucial to use your turn signal appropriately, maintain safe speed, and be mindful of pedestrians. You will want to indicate your exit direction before you reach it. Starting your turn signal after passing the previous exit. Give way to other vehicles already on the roundabout and be prepared to stop if necessary. What is early signaling? Begin your turn signal after you pass the exit before the one you intend to take. The clear indication is keeping your signal on as you approach the exit, ensuring that other drivers understand your intentions. Don't delay. Don't wait until the last minute to signal, as this can create confusion for other drivers.
As Hortensia was asking about the pedestrian crossing, some persons think that that stretch of road is 40 miles, it's 20 miles. So even if a pedestrian want to cross, that driver should be going at a speed that even if you see somebody in the road crossing, you have time to stop.
Yep.
It is not a racetrack, it is not 40 miles, it's 20 miles from that same area right down to the church. So that's a 20-mile zone. So drivers must look out for pedestrians. If I want to cross, as long as I'm in the road, yes, it doesn't have a crosswalk, but you should have most respect for pedestrian because everyone has to use the road. Everyone uses the road. So if I'm in the street to cross, you should stop for me to cross, even if no crosswalk is there. Because everyone comes on the traffic. So we have a right as pedestrian, you have a right as driver. So, but don't wait until you see a vehicle coming upon you to cross. No. And make sure that the person who is driving sees you before you cross in that road. But we can look into that Hortensia and we'll see what we can do. But that stretch of road is 20 miles.
20 miles.
And another issue we have, especially in the bigger roundabouts like the airport roundabout and the ECCB roundabout, sometimes a vehicle is traveling behind. They both entered in the same lane. They're traveling behind a vehicle and they feel as if that vehicle is moving too slow for them and they overtake in the roundabout. Persons are not supposed to overtake in the roundabout.
At all.
That can cause, unless there's the vehicle is stopped and obstructing the free flow of traffic.
Okay.
If that person is driving in a pace,
wait,
because they're driving in accordance to the speed limit. No
like
overtaking in the roundabout, cars. You're gonna confuse the drivers behind of you.
Because people like to follow. They don't just.
They're gonna follow because, and that is the next thing. Sometimes we see a vehicle overtake and we don't even know why they overtake, what is coming or anything, and then we just follow right behind.
Wow.
They might be able to squeeze and find that way because that's their judgment. They know they could have fit in, but you're behind now, and then bam, you get an oncoming collision. So that is another thing. When we see vehicles overtaking, we don't just start to overtake behind of them. We don't know what is the obstruction ahead. Okay.
Well, you answered that question. Let me ask this one here. What should one do if he or she misses the exit while traveling in the roundabout? Let's say I'm gonna make it a little easier. Let's say I'm in the inner lane. I'm gonna do inner lane work here for the persons that have trouble with the inner lane.
What should you do when you miss your exit? You're already in the roundabout, so just go around and indicate when you're gonna change the lane to go to your exit.
Okay.
That's all.
Okay.
But make sure your path is clear before you do that.
Just make sure
you don't just cut across someone. Yes, not because you indicate. Make sure that nothing is coming from behind you or to the side of you before you do such.
Okay.
Because once you're indicating now, you're now coming in someone's right away. So you have to make sure that you're completely clear. So not because you have on your indicator and you're already in the roundabout, means you can just turn.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay. So how soon will we get these roundabouts that have the most accidents marked out? I know where we have to come up to yield is marked. As you say, we've been up the signs. I'm going to say we. I'm going to do the collective, not me. I've never gotten in an accident, knocking something because I don't want one. When will they be marked out? Any idea? Young lady? Gentleman?
That is something we could look into, have a conversation with the other parties, different departments, because it's not just traffic.
Understood.
Yeah, we have public works, different people to speak with before things are done. Everybody have to come to a mutual understanding, but your concern is, I would say, valuable.
Thank you.
I hope it doesn't increase the accident stats though, because I
because
find the more we try to help and educate persons,
everything increases, and that's what I'm saying. Sometimes people are going to say, "Oh, we wait too late. Y'all wait too late." Not blaming traffic, but all the parties.
Yes.
Y'all wait too late before y'all mark out that. That should have been marked out long time. Y'all shouldn't come to this.
Better late than never.
Oh boy, I don't think the public thinking like that, but folks, you got a clear picture of what and how you should use the roundabout this morning. And if you have any questions, the officers are here. Take the time out to call, ask them, they'll answer you. And please, if you're not sure, our officer is almost always walking around. I think all of them know how to use the road. Just ask a question. Okay, do we have anything else to add before we close out this morning?
Not pertaining to the roundabout. However, I want to encourage persons that use the bank, the National Bank in Birdrock. There was a small parking lot first for them. Now they pushed off an empty lot and made parking for their customers. Now you drive up that road, the parking lot is empty, but the road is filled with vehicles. And there's a fresh yellow line, because they like to say we don't see the yellow line. A fresh yellow line there. And they're still parking. And then when we give them ticket, oh, we just went to run in to check get the money. Y'all folks, I only see people went in for money, I want money. No, it's not that. When vehicles are coming up the road, those that are coming down have to be there waiting a long period just to pass.
Yeah, because there's a whole long line.
When you have a parking lot allotted to you, empty.
Yeah.
So persons who park there, they're going to get tickets.
Okay,
They're
fair
going to
enough.
get tickets. And the thing is, the bank persons agree, because they made
provisions
for them after they said, well, the 5 parking lot is not enough for them. Now I'm sure 20 vehicles could park in that parking lot that they made for them. And you pass the parking lot is empty, but the road is filled with obstruction. We can't tolerate that.
Okay. Fair enough. Lady, gentlemen, anything else to add before we close out?
Last week, the constables them spoke about the light over at Keys. I got onto Skellek, and those lights were taken down.
Okay.
So it's no more red light, it's the uncolored lights now.
Okay. Okay. Because I spoke to somebody from Skellek too, and I was waiting for them to come in and talk about the lights as well. So I'm happy to know of the updates.
The lights are down.
Regular?
Yes.
All right. All right. So thank you so much, and this brings this week's Traffic Talk to a close. Please be mindful in the roundabout, and have a great Monday and a great week.
Found the sound 98.9
Maybe it's the way the
But I was
brilliant
asking
gold
though,
liquid
Mike,
reflects our
who
sunshine,
never can
or how
tell.
the bright blue of its label mirrors the clear Caribbean skies overhead. Maybe it's the fresh, crisp taste of this beastly cold beer on a scorching hot day. Maybe it's even the way it brings us all together. But one thing is for sure, Carib is very much a part of who we are wherever we're from in the Caribbean. Carib.
So I gotta go
It's
closer
the way
then.
we play.
Let TDC Financial Services help you go for your goals. Whether you're thinking of taking that grand vacation, down payment on a house, higher education, TDC Financial Services has various plans that will allow you to go for your goals. Choose from the Accumulator Plus, Investment Starter Plan, and Fixed Deposit. Ready to go for your goals? Visit us at TDC Financial Services, where money is made easy.
Kids and neighbors, it's time to celebrate! We're raising our glasses and saying cheers to 20 years as your trusted telecommunications provider. And because we love our amazing customers, we're giving you the chance to win. Every week, we've got exciting prizes just for you. And that's not all. Step into a cash vault for a shot at $2,000 in cash. To qualify, switch to judicial, activate a 3-day plan or higher. Pay your bill in full. Sign up for postpaid or a new Digital Plus internet package. Stay connected, keep enjoying the best service, and get ready to win. 20 years strong, and we're just getting started. Visit a Digicel retail store today.
Let's get real on WinFM. Hi, this is Lavi. Let's get real Wednesday nights at 8 on WinFM. Get ready for an hour of real talk that will keep you engaged and informed, bringing you insights, the hottest topics of the moment, and perspectives that matter from the runway to the political arena. Real talk with Lavi covers all. Let's get real Wednesday nights at 8 on WinFM.
You ever hear Earthquake call and say, "Hello, Miss Lee, yes, it's me, Earthquake, I come in Tuesday around 10? No, sir. Earthquake does arrive unannounced, and when it come, it shake all sense and sensibility out of we. Remain calm, stay inside, and do the DCH. Drop, cover, hold on. Once the shaking starts, you know it's earthquake. Make a quick move to a safe place. Don't run to the doorway or any exit. Stairs might block up or full of people. Elevator, avoid that because you might get in and poof, power gone, and you're stuck in that box without air. Take cover under a strong table or a bed, or crouch against an inside wall or in a corner, and cover your face and your head with your arms. Remember, DCH, drop, cover, hold on. Glass windows and doors, outside walls and doors in an earthquake, bad news. Take care yourself. Most injuries during earthquakes happen when something drop and hit people entering or exiting a building. Last thing, nobody run outside and ask, you feel it, you feel it? Remain calm, stay indoors until all the shaking stop, and do the DCH, drop, cover, hold on.
This message is sponsored by the Australian Government, AusAid, and produced by NEMA in collaboration with WinFM.
Welcome to Island Tea with your faves. Keep it locked in with us for your daily dose of hot tea, only on Win Media 98.9.
And we are back on Island Tea. And Quint, over the weekend I saw an interesting topic. And I don't agree with abortion when it's used because somebody negligently messed up and decide, this is not my portion, I don't want it, I'm just gonna get rid of it. But if it is a life and death situation, my human mind say common sense should reign, right? And I am looking at an article with a young lady from the U.S., particularly in the what do you call it? It's not county. Okay, it's in Atlanta. I can't find the word right now. And it says the Attorney General says heartbeat law isn't behind brain dead's mother case. This mom is brain dead, and she has a fetus that is 90 days since she's been brain dead, but they're allowing it to grow a bit more. They're going to try to deliver it, and maybe, this is my assumption, maybe then relieve her from the machine, because she's basically on a ventilator. She's brain dead, nothing's happening. I pray a miracle happen and she comes back, because her mom wants her to be let go. But if she's let go, then she goes with the baby inside of her. And when I had read the article before, it was saying the hospital is not trying to get in any problems because the fetus is past the time that it would have been allowed to be aborted.
Yeah.
So how does one deal with such a thing? Because I was wondering how the moms feel, because if you let your daughter go, you kill your grandchild. So how does one deal with something like that? And why, if the parent is brain dead and if the baby wasn't fully developed, although the life was there, why couldn't she be let go without the hospital and the doctors fearing that they can get into trouble for letting her go with?
When it comes to the U.S., it's a very, very touchy situation because people will sue you as you wink. So I guess I'm just trying to see if I could rationalize. I guess the hospital was concerned whether they would let the mother die, and if the mother dies before the child is at a certain stage and the child dies, then you might find some family might sue and say, well, you could have tried to save the baby. Okay? Mm-hmm. It's the U.S. we're speaking about. But then again, there also is the option where if you let the baby go to the point where you can bring the baby, save the baby and bring it, are there family who are willing to take responsibility for the child?
And this is what have me concerned now, because if the mother was willing for her to go, that means she's not trying to have the additional worries of a child.
Yes.
And now this child belongs to the state. Because many could argue, or if the mom is a meanie, she could argue, I didn't ask you all to keep her on life support, because that could be a next cost for the family. Because if she doesn't have insurance, who pays for her being on life support? That's my question. And two, I don't know the financial situation or the physical and mental capacity of the mom, the grandmom, to take care of the child. So maybe.
We have a caller.
Okay,
Hello,
caller, good morning. You're live on ILNT.
Good morning to everyone. Greetings to you all in Jesus' name once more again. And Jesus, who is the only Savior of sinners from the sins and from hell, and He is the second person of the eternal Trinity.
Okay, good morning.
Now, in morning, yes. Now, first of all, I would like to say, based upon the teachings of the Bible, abortion is murder and therefore wrong, and we should always do as much as we can do possibly to save and preserve life, except in cases where the Bible tells us a life should be taken, as in, for example, the penalty for murdering somebody. For example, in that case and other biblical cases too. But other than those issues, outside of those issues, life, it is our biblical duty to preserve life as much as possible. And I even think that should even apply to the person who is brain dead but on a ventilator, because you never know what God can do in the future. Mm-hmm. We need to do what we can do and then leave the rest to God.
Like I said,
that's number one. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's number one. Number two.
Yeah, Greg, we're not going to be able to entertain that. We have guests waiting for the next.
Okay.
Thing. Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah.
No problem.
So, Greg, you might have to call back.
Yeah, you have to call.
No problem. God bless. Okay.
All right. Thank you for your understanding.
We'll take a bit of a break because the guests want to start promptly on time. Mm-hmm. And because they have another appointment, okay?
Okay, no problem.
WINN is 98.9. 98.9 is Win FM.
Tune in to Creative Voices, the ultimate radio call-in program where innovation meets inspiration. Join me, Dr. Sarah Owen, as I welcome brilliant Caribbean creatives and innovators for engaging sessions that promise to spark your creativity. Don't miss this unique opportunity to interact with our guests, ask your burning questions, and gain insights that could elevate your own creative endeavors. Tune in every other Friday from 10 a.m. to midday. Get inspired, let your voice be heard. Mark your calendars and prepare to embark on a journey of creativity and innovation with Creative Voices.
Shopping with TDC just got much easier. Here's how. Log on to shoptdcgroup.com. Shop at your convenience at any time, from anywhere, with your smartphone, tablet, or computer. With our safe and secure payment checkout, you choose the option to pick up in-store or have your goods delivered right to your door. It's that easy. Shop tdcgroup.com, your one-stop online store.
Shop anywhere, shop anytime, same quality you love. Now online. Shop
www.shoptdcgroup.com.
If you live in low-lying areas, be aware of the possibility of tsunamis immediately after an earthquake. A strong earthquake lasting 20 seconds or more is a natural tsunami warning. Do not wait for an official warning. Gather your family members and evacuate immediately after the shaking stops. Don't delay. A tsunami could occur within minutes.
This message is sponsored by the Australian Government, AusAid, and produced by NEMA in collaboration with WinFM.
Save your quarters and save your dollars. You could just protect.
Parents and guardians, it's time to secure your child's success. Enroll them in Aspire and unlock amazing benefits. $500 in cash savings, $500 in investment shares, and life-changing financial education to teach budgeting, saving, and investing. Don't wait. Sign up your child or ward for Aspire today and give them the tools to achieve greatness. Visit aspire.gov.kn for more information.
Welcome to Island Tea with your faves. Keep it locked in with us for your daily dose of hot tea, only on Win Media 98.9.
and we are back on Island Tea. And with us in studio, we have Miss Denicia Smitten and Miss Gail Greenaway, and they're from the Department of Community Development in Nevis, and they're here to talk about the Nevis Heritage Festival. So good morning, ladies, and welcome to the studio of Island Tea. How are you both doing this morning?
Good morning. We are doing fine. Thank you for having us
My
on
pleasure.
Island Tea.
All right. So, Miss Greenaway, want to say hi to the folks that may be listening?
Good morning, and thank you for listening to Island Tea. My name is Gail Greenaway, and I'm from the Department of Community Development.
Alrighty. So let us talk about the Nevis Heritage Festival. What is this festival about, and could you tell us when was it started?
Okay, so this month, we are celebrating Community Development Month under the theme Together We Grow, Together We Thrive, Our Community, Our Pride. And so we have a plethora of activities happening for the month of May. And so our flagship event is the Nevis Multicultural Heritage Festival. Last year we started this event and it was actually dubbed Nevis Heritage Festival, but this year we decided to rebrand it as the Nevis Multicultural Heritage Festival to encapsulate everything that the event will be all about, which is to highlight the multifaceted culture and heritage of our little island of Nevis. And we are excited because last year the turnout, because it was the first time, we were not expecting such a large turnout, and it was a great turnout. And so this year we are expecting an even larger turnout with so much more fun activities and entertainment. And so this event will be happening on Saturday, May 31st at the Malcolm Gishard Recreational Park at 12 p.m. And we're going to have various cultural performances such as the Mokojumbi Masquerade, Black Circle Drummers, Cakewalk, and so much more. And we're also going to have various countries being represented. And so one of our goals of the Nevis Multicultural Heritage Festival is to capture and highlight the various cultures and persons within our community who are from different communities. We understand that community development, that the community has evolved, and we have so many persons from various parts of the world who are residing on Nevis, and so we wanted to take this as an opportunity to celebrate that. And I just wanted to highlight some of the foods that you can expect, because you have to come hungry, because you will get a good taste of that culture. And so from St. Kitts and Nevis, we are going to have black pudding, conky, goat water, dumpling and saltfish. And dumpling and saltfish is my favorite, especially the day after, when you put it in the frying pan, we fry it up and stuff. From Africa, we'll have pounded yam, or efuyo. If I do not pronounce it correctly, please forgive me. Chapati, naima, choma, pepper cow skin, jollof rice. I know of the jollof rice. I do love jollof rice. Chakalaka, puff puff, samosas, which is like beef and saltfish. Iguso soup, siswa, which is like pounded goat meat. From Jamaica, we'll have manish water, ackee and saltfish, curried mutton, barbecue fried chicken, stew peas. From St. Lucia, breadfruit and saltfish, green banana, chicken back and red bean bouillon. From Dominica, we'll have crab, callaloo, smoked pork, smoked chicken, Creole fish, titwa akra, ground provision, and fig pie. From the Dominican Republic, we'll have rice and beans, black beans with coconut, green peas, red beans, pork, and chicken and fish, and mutton and Spanish cook-up. From the Philippines, we'll have adobo, pansit, lumpy, buku pan, and dumpling siomi. From Guyana, pepper pot and bread, Portuguese garlic pork, chicken, East Indian chicken curry, roti, polori, African metengi, or metengi? Metengi, thank you. White and black pudding. So not only the black pudding, we love the black pudding, but there will be white pudding. Cook-up rice with salt beef and conky. From Trinidad and Tobago, we have bacon shacks, doubles. And from One Love Rastafari Movement, we'll have some ital. So everything ital, whether it's soups, cakes, pastries, rice, and other side dishes. So basically, in a nutshell, we'll have various countries that will be represented at the Nevis Multicultural Heritage Festival, St. Kitts Nevis, Africa, African countries, so various countries that will be representing Africa, Jamaica, St. Lucia, Dominica, Dominican Republic, Philippines, Guyana, Trinidad and Tobago.
Okay. Will the countries also be participating or showcasing their heritage?
Yes.
Okay.
So we'll have various countries who will be showcasing their cultural heritage, whether it's performances. Last year we had various cultural performances from some of the countries, and you know Guyana did modeling. They modeled their beautiful wear because they have some colorful fabrics. We had various cultural performances, so we will be having some cultural performances from the various representatives from the countries.
Okay, so you told us what it's about, where it will be held, and the time. So it's 12 until.
Yes, 12 p.m. until.
Okay, you mentioned a cakewalk. Did I hear correctly?
Yes, we'll have cakewalk as
so
well.
So what is a cakewalk? Could you explain that to the patrons that are anticipating this festival?
So the cakewalk is basically a waltz, a sort of a dance with the male and the female waltz. It's supposed to be, from what I understand from yesteryears or many years ago, the slaves would use that to mock or mimic the plantation owners, and so it's just basically a waltz where and it's supposed to be respectful. You're supposed to be very mindful of your partner and in sync with your partner. So it's basically just a waltz where you sway from side to side and you do little dance moves, and it's very nice to see our children, because that will be represented by our children, and it will be an exciting opportunity for them to showcase our cultural traditions via the cakewalk. And of course, masquerade, I love masquerade. I can watch the masqueraders all day actually, and so it would be really good to see the masquerade performance. We'll also have live entertainment, or the entertainment from DJ Smudge, and everybody should know DJ Smudge by now, the legendary DJ Zimba. We'll also have our host, none other than DJ Woodis, and I'm excited because DJ Woodis is no stranger to us, and so it will be a fun day. We also have various competitions. We'll have the domino competition, mixology contest. We are also going to have a watermelon eating competition. We're going to have some cooking demonstrations, and so you can come and look at how they prepare various traditional meals, and you can have a taste. It will be fun. It will be good.
As we anticipate your mango festival, will there be mango just to bring us, leave us lingering until mango festival time?
Actually, no, but that's something that we can plug in for next year, definitely. That's a really good idea, and something that we can definitely collaborate on next year.
Okay. You mentioned the cakewalk dance is something that was preserved from the past. Who are some of the persons? Because, sometimes the people who help with everything don't get the shine. Who are some of the persons that are behind the performances that you will have, including the preservation of the cakewalk dance?
So I want to highlight our Community Development Officer, Sandra Brown, because she's the one who is she's naturally a dancer, so she's teaching our cakewalk. We also have Bingi, that is from NCDF Nevis Cultural Development Foundation, who will be assisting us with the Black Circle drummers. We also have Dendi. Some of you would know, if you have seen Moko Jambi in Nevis, you must have seen Dendi. And of course our minister, I'm hoping to see our minister Janelle Nisby. She's very skilled in the Moko Jambi, so I'm hoping to see her. I know that's something that she loves to do and she would love to be a part of, so I'm putting that plug in again. And I also just want to highlight those who continue and persistently continue to preserve our culture. So, of course, Nevis Cultural Development Foundation and our community development officers. And, of course, I want to highlight the committee who we have in place, Mrs. Greenaway, who is here with me. We have Mr. Patterson. We are also going to have steel pan. I didn't mention that. We are also going to have various steel pan performances. And so I'm excited about that because the children from our steel pan groups are always very enthusiastic to be a part of our events. They never hesitate. They never say no. And so I'm excited to have them on board. We also have Miss Tracy Paris, who is a part of the committee as well, Miss Greta Claxton Jeffers, and Miss Sherilyn Liebert. And so those are the persons, the main persons. And of course, I want to highlight Mr. Anthony Gager, who would have played an instrumental role in our planning so far. And he would have assisted us with some of the interviews that we held to just highlight some of the things that persons can expect. And Mr. Patrick Howell from the communications unit too, he has played a great role in helping us. And I just want to also highlight our sponsors, because without them, this event would not be possible. Of course, the Ministry of Social Empowerment, who is under, well, we are under their ministry. They have greenlit this event again, and the minister, it's led by Minister Janelle Nisbet, Honorable Janelle Nisbet, and Mrs. D. Michelle Liebert Rollins, who have shown full support for this event. I also want to highlight Amri Bakery, who has also contributed significantly to this event. And if you need a bag of bread, you know where to go, Amri Bakery. Chills Beach Bar, that's in Pinnis Beach, on Pinnis Beach. They have also contributed significantly to our event, so I just want to thank Chills Beach Bar. Laws and Sons, affectionately known, I grew up knowing them as Laws Bookstore. So, Laws and Sons, we want to thank you as well. New Mileage Mall and Dongfang Supermarket, Wally Beach and Caribbean Lottery. We want to thank all of our sponsors for contributing to the Nevis Heritage Festival.
Okay, so Ms. Greenaway, I want to bring you in the conversation. What part do you play in all this planning and everything that is going on?
Just on the committee.
You're just on the committee?
Looking for sponsors.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
Yes,
all right.
I was the main focus in looking for sponsors to bring in.
Okay, so are you still looking for sponsors? So, you could put your bid out right now,
Okay, we're looking for sponsors. Anyone who wants to sponsor us for Cultural Heritage Festival, please do so by calling me at 664-9936.
Mrs. Greenaway is not giving herself enough credit. She has played an instrumental role.
I try to get her to talk.
Yes. She has played an instrumental role in us procuring sponsorship, and she has also been very instrumental in basically a lot of the planning, especially getting some of the countries, and also just being there as a support system. So I just want to commend her very, very much for all that she has done so far. She's a great person to work with, especially when it comes to this. I want to put our bid in for the Basgot Breadfruit Festival that's coming up.
Okay.
Hello?
Caller, go ahead. You're live on Island T.
Oh, I just wanted to know. I'm calling from Tennessee. I'm from St. Kitts as well. Could you tell me the activity, the name of the activity, and when it is?
It is the Nevis Multicultural Heritage Festival, and it will be on the 31st of May. It starts at 12 p.m. and it will be at the Malcolm Gishard Recreational Center. Park, the park, not the center. Don't let them get me.
Okay. Thank you.
And if you care to donate, you can call Miss Greenaway, the lovely Miss Greenaway, at 869-664-9936.
All right, thank you.
All right, you're welcome.
Thank you for calling. And I just want to, for a few minutes, speak about our Community Development Month and why Nevis Multicultural Heritage are part of the month of activities. We usually celebrate our Community Development Month in the month of May, and so we currently have our ongoing Community Cares food drive, and we are asking persons to donate to a worthy cause where we are in the process of gathering food items, so non-perishable food items or toiletries such as toilet paper, toothpaste and soaps, or you can donate canned goods, rice, sugar, whatever does not perish easily. Our distribution day, so the last day that we'll be distributing is this Friday, and we also have a food bin at Ram Supermarket, and that's only in Nevis, but you can reach out to us if you're interested in donating to our food drive. Our last day is this coming Friday. We also had our church service where the staff went and worshipped at the Beulah Seventh-day Adventist Church on May 3rd. We had our Jessup Seafood Fiesta that is mainly implemented by the Jessup's community management team, and that has been a staple event in our community, and most people look forward to that event annually, and we have persons who even come over from St. Kitts. And so I'm putting a pin in and letting you know that that is something that happens every Labor Monday at the Jessups Community Center. So mark your calendars for the first, I think it's the first Monday in May usually. And we had our Caribbean Migrants Masculinities podcast, which was dedicated to highlighting our migrant men and those persons, foreign nationals who are living with among us and who want their voices to be heard. And it was very, very fruitful, and the discussion was very, very good. We also have our jumbo sale coming up on May 22nd to May 23rd at the department, and you must find something for yourself. So come on out. For those who don't know where our office is, it's at the Evelyn Henville building in Charlestown. We had our floral arrangement workshop, which is currently ongoing, and it should finish by the next week Thursday. That's May 29th. We held it every Tuesdays and Thursdays, and so we had a total of 17 participants for that. And then of course the Nevis Multicultural Heritage Festival. And so our goal this year was to just empower our persons in our community by providing skills training, and also to celebrate our community. And so that's one of the reasons why we dedicated the May 31st to our Nevis Multicultural Heritage Festival, and we are anticipating an excellent day of fun and culture and food, definitely the food.
Okay. For persons that want to come over, do you have any specials on the boats that traverse the waters, or it will just be the regular cost?
Well, for now it just will be the regular cost. We'll tap into some of our ferries and see if they can substitute or find some alternatives, but for now it's just going to be regular cost.
Will they run later, since we might go 12 until? We don't know, because you never know how good this is going to be, and I'm sure persons hearing this in St. Kitts are going to want to come over, just like how we come over for the Mango Festival.
Yes. Well, I know that the last boat for Islander Water Taxi is very late, and we'll liaise with Apple Cider, and if you are interested in coming over, look at our department's page, the Department of Community Development Nevis, and we will inform you if there would be any late boat. We usually go from 12 to 7, and we are anticipating that we'll go later than that this year, and so we'll definitely work on that for those persons who are interested in coming over from St. Kitts.
Okay, so we have Ms. Greenaway's number ready to contact her, okay? What if we want to contact the department? What is your number? I know you mentioned Facebook. Are you on any other social media sites? Do you have any other handles that we can reach you at?
So you can reach us at, we only have our Facebook page for now, but you can reach us at 469-5521, extension 6461, 6462, or 6463, or you can call our direct line at 469-1768. So that's 469-1768, and you would be able to reach us. You can also shoot us an email at DOCD, that's DOCD.nevis@gmail.com.
All right. So Denicia and Miss Greenaway, thank you so much for coming in and educating us on the second edition that you'll be having of the Nevis Multicultural Heritage Festival. We wish you all the best. Saturday, I'm missing out on so much, I have a busy work schedule, and Saturdays I work long hours, so I won't be able to come over, but I hope to get a post-up of how it went and how it grew this year.
Definitely.
All righty. So thank you, ladies, for coming to our studios and to our Island Tea program and letting us know what is happening in our sister island of Nevis.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for having us.
You're welcome.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
Save your quarters and save your dollars. You could protect.
Parents and guardians, it's time to secure your child's success. Enroll them in Aspire and unlock amazing benefits. $500 in cash savings, $500 in investment shares, and life-changing financial education to teach budgeting, saving, and investing. Don't wait. Sign up your child or ward for Aspire today and give them the tools to achieve greatness. Visit aspire.gov.kn for more information.
Unlock the secrets to a healthier you. Join Dr. Natalie Osborne every Tuesday at 8:30 a.m. on WinFM 98.9 for Weekly Dose. During this 30-minute health discussion, we aim to educate and empower our listeners on the prevention of diseases, early diagnosis, and timely intervention. Don't miss out on this informative health talk where we teach you to live your best life. Weekly Dose, Tuesdays on WinFM 98.9.
Hey, have you heard about the water shortage in our area?
Yeah, it's pretty serious. I've been trying to conserve water as much as possible.
Me too. I've started taking shorter showers and turning off the faucet when I brush my teeth.
Well, that's great. Another way to save water is to fix any leaks in your house.
Oh, I hadn't thought of that. How much water can a leak waste?
A small leak can waste up to 20 gallons of water daily, which can really add up over time.
Wow, that's a lot. And have to check for any leaks in my house.
But another good tip is to only run your dishwasher and washing machine when they are full to save water and energy.
I'll keep that in mind. It's important that we all do our part to conserve water, especially during this shortage.
Absolutely. Every drop counts.
This message was brought to you by the St. Kitts Water Services Department. Learn more at water.gov.kn.
Welcome to Island Tea with your faves. Keep it locked in with us for your daily dose of hot tea only on Win Media 98.9.
And we are back on Island Tea. And, you know, united we stand, divided we fall. And it hurts my heart to see in my very own country, Quint, that the two parties, instead of working together with the controversy that's happening between Guyana and Venezuela, they have won. The opposition have decided they're not supporting them again.
Not supporting who?
They're not supporting the opposition has decided they're not supporting the current government.
Mm.
Did you believe this? And I'm like, where is it one people, one nation, one destiny? We need to done with these mottos that don't make sense when they need to make sense, you know. Because how are we one people, one nation, one destiny, and you're going to cut support when we all need this right
So the
now?
opposition is siding with Venezuela?
They're not, but they're just not supporting. I don't think they want to side with Venezuela, but they have had a set of attacks, though, where people in plainclothes on the Venezuelan side have attacked the GDF that's stationed on the Guyana side. The Guyanese side have returned fire, and we've had some injuries or lives lost across in Venezuela. We've had injuries in Ghana, but no loss of life. And the article, I'm just going to read a bit of it, and it says, it comes from the Demoara Wave. It's on winfm.com, so you can read it there in its entirety. The Guyana government is yet to hand over chairmanship of the House Bipartisan Foreign Relations Committees and has effectively shunned all opposition offers to map a united strategy to push back Venezuela's claim to the Essequibo region. Opposition leader Aubrey Norton said Thursday. Mr. Norton accused President Irfan Ali of breaking his promise at a meeting they held that the chairmanship of the Parliamentary Committee on Foreign Affairs would be handed over to shadow Foreign Affairs Ministers Amanza Walton Desir. The opposition leader said no commitment was held, even as the Guyana government was seeking opposition support for the holding of countrywide concerts and parliamentary motions. He dismissed as ridiculous the Guyana government's invitation to a concert at the time when Venezuelans are seeking to hold an election purporting to have governors in Essequibo. It makes absolutely no sense. It is ridiculous, he said. Up until now, no action has been taken to hand over the Foreign Affairs Committee, yet you now come seeking our assistance and cooperation. We do not intend at all to provide you with the opportunity for optics. We want genuine involvement if we are to confront the problems facing the people of Guyana, especially as they relate to the Guyana-Venezuelan territorial controversy, Mr. Norton said. So I am really hoping that they can come to some form of agreement and just work together for the common good of one people, one nation, one destiny. Because what are we doing? When people see you are divided, it's easier for them to come in any form of relationship, friendship, husband and wife relationship, regular relationship. Once people see division, they sneak in there.
Look, I'm not surprised, because it seems to me that opposition, especially in our region, means to oppose.
But
And
to oppose in a time when you needed to work together, does that make sense? Just like how I'm hearing on everybody's talking, and even on social media sites here, when it comes to Sinkits as well, stop fighting amongst ourselves. Stop bringing down our country. It's country above self and not self above country. And we have one people, our motto is one people, one nation, one destiny, but we're not acting as such.
Let me repeat, just in case you didn't understand. It seems as if, though, in our region, opposition means to oppose.
And
to oppose no matter what.
But that's
even though the thing that you're opposing presently might be the very thing that benefits you in the future, your key is to oppose it. That is
But
how
that's
it,
the
it
point
seems.
of opposition, right?
It seems
Because that's why people are saying here we don't have an opposition, right? But that's the point, to oppose against things that you don't think would benefit us, right?
they're saying we don't have an opposition here because it seems that our opposition here is more quiet. It seems to me, and let me reiterate, it seems to me that if the opposition opposes, the people backs the opposition. If they don't oppose, you understand what I'm saying?
I get you. That's what it said. They're not doing no opposing next to them.
Yeah, because, for instance, if me and you are running against each other, if I say in my mind, if I say, Katense is going good, I don't see any problem with how she's going, right? And I remain quiet for a while. People are going to say, oppose her. But I don't see anything that I should oppose right now. You understand? But our opposition don't do that. They just oppose. If you say A, they say B. If you say R, they say Y. You understand? So how do we get anywhere? No wonder we have been in the position we're in for so long. I mean, I can't understand for the life of me where the opposition is not trying to push the same agenda to acquire and hold on to the Essequibo region. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Because they're saying that the president is not being fair in what he's supposed to be doing, and whatever committee should be handing over to them, he isn't handing over. But can we not put aside that for the minute just to work together to ensure that we keep Guyana intact? Because these people are going to see the rifts, they're going to hear the rifts, they're reading the news, and they're going to sneak in.
As you said that, there's another side to the equation, and the other side is that the incumbent has a tendency not to communicate with the opposition. They just do things, and the opposition feel, well, you're not communicating with us, but when it's convenient for you, you want us to join hands with you and sing hallelujah. So you understand?
Yeah.
So there's a song that culture has, and it says there are three sides to an argument: your side, my side, and the truth.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
So how do we find the truth? It
So-
seems to me as if though neither the opposition nor the incumbent are interested in the truth. They're interested in surviving.
Yeah, but
And the incumbent survives by putting a spin on everything. If this is the truth, they're going to touch it up to make it look good. And the opposition also is not going to deal with the truth. They're going to spin it in a way so that it works negative for the incumbent.
Yeah,
So
that's
we
what-
never get anywhere.
Yeah,
as
that's
a
why we
people.
always have to figure out.
We have
the-
a caller
the middle
anyway.
path.
Callers, thanks
Caller,
for
go
being
ahead.
holding so long and so patiently.
No problem. Quint, yes, no problem. What I'm calling to say as well, let me say this. As usual, I'm going to say as usual, we need to become a republic, and we need to come out the Commonwealth. Excuse me for that. Yes, we need to become a republic, and we need to come out the Commonwealth. Now, just very interestingly this morning, I read on the St. Kitts Nevis Times that the Prime Minister is now pushing for us to become a republic. Well, I think once that is true, and he really mean it, that's a baby step in the right direction. So, yeah, I'm heartened to hear that once it is true, once he really means it, and it is true. Now, concerning the reusable plastic bag issue, the ban, just something I just realized. I just realized another way in which poor people are being kicked in the head again by the authorities who come up with these policies. And the reason, and here is it. I realize now that the reusable bags, are weaker. And so because of that, instead of buying one, depends on the groceries that you are buying, you have to buy two, double up. Because they rip quicker, they get destroyed quicker.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up because I was amazed. I was surprised. I bought some stuff not too long ago and they weren't too heavy. But by the time I got home and I took the bag out and I put it on the table, I realized that there was a hole in the bag and I said to myself, wow, how did that happen? So...
Well, we know it happened. The bags are much weaker now. And so because of that, this is another way. I just realized how the poor people are kicked in the head again into more and greater expenses. And it seems as though we cannot come up with enough inventions as to how we could put the poor in more and more financial squeeze, which is not good for the country. And definitely not good for the poor. But it's a very sad case, very sad. Now, in the past, and like I said, I'm not a critician who does speak for 9 days and shut up. I've spoken about this over the years, but not as often as I would like to. Concerning, you remember I would tell you, our government, when they're in opposition, they come down and when they're in opposition, they come down on those who are in government to release information and that sort of stuff. Well, I've mentioned things go way back that I would like to hear what information is there out there that the government has come up with and they need to release to the public. And I go as far back as the courthouse, the burning of the courthouse. Now, somebody tell me a number of years ago, and like I said, I don't know which is true, but it sounds plausible to me. And the person said to me a number of years ago, and I think this was in the 90s or maybe early 2000. And the person said to me, Greg, because like I said, it's a good one now he's speaking about this thing. And the person said to me, Greg, no party is going to release any information concerning the burning of the old courthouse. And he said to me, the reason why they ain't going to do it is simply this. There were poor people, who had titles for land over the Southeast Peninsula. And when the courthouse burnt down, they lost the titles and deeds, and others claimed them. And so it is not in the interest of any of the parties, because of who is claiming them, that the parties would release information and the burning down of the courthouse and so on and so on. So he said, Greg, they ain't gonna do that. You know, it's protection of those who have money. And you know, it's very interesting. These same people who takes advantages of the poor, and it's on all sides of the political divide. They come to the same poor people and tell the same poor people how I am for you, how you should stand up for your rights. I'm fighting for you. I'm fighting to empower you. And all those sort of gimmicks and slogans. And yet these are the same people who turn around and are taking advantage of the poor at the protection of those who are rich, have money, who are privileged, elite, and so on. And we just taking the country for our right. On all sides of the political divide, we're just taking the country for our right. Just for political privilege, just for political mileage, just for political advantages, and personal empowerment, enrichment, and so on.
Okay, Greg,
Anyway.
Greg, let me segue from the topic of your discussion. You often call in and say that women are supposed to be in a position where they are submissive to the leadership of men. Now, I'm going to ask you this. A caller called in not too long ago and spoke to an instance where a man got so steeped in road rage that he pulled out his gun and accosted a female and wound up, as she said, even walking on, practically walking on the head of the woman. I'm going to ask you, what kind of leadership does that man show when he moves in that manner? I'm trying to get a picture of the situation. He not only comes out with his gun, which is intimidating enough, but he pulls her out and beats up on her and winds up stepping on her head. What do you have to say to men who do those things?
You see, it ain't just men alone, but anybody who do those things. But since the consideration is for a man versus a woman, even that applies here as well. You see, the Bible tells you, okay, eye for eye, tooth for tooth, life for life, bun for bun. In other words, the punishment must fit the crime. It should not be less than the crime, and it should not be more than the crime. And so whatever damage that man has done to that woman, the woman at least should have the privilege of suing him very bigly, because that sounds to me like a lot of damage have been and hurt have been done to the woman. So the woman should have recourse for justice, at the minimum, getting a lot of money out of him.
Yeah, and
at
what
the minimum.
And what bothered me is this might not, we don't have the facts on it, but it was touted that he is a friend of the Prime Minister. So
this happened in the Caribbean?
Yes, in Jamaica, she said.
In Jamaica. I thought it was in America.
No, in Jamaica. So here's what I'm going to also put forward. There is the old saying, you are known by the company you keep. Now, if Hortensia says she's my friend, or let me turn it the other way. If I say I am Hortensia's friend, why would I, let me put myself in the position of the man who did this act. I am Hortensia's friend. Hortensia is the Prime Minister. Now, what benefit am I doing to Hortensia, the Prime Minister, as her friend, as a known friend, to go out in the public and act so absolutely ridiculous and stupid? Am I doing the friend my friend a favor? Or is it that I am so ignorant and daft that I am sending a message to the world that Hortensia, my friend, is the prime minister, so I can do stupid things and get away with them?
Well, you see, the thing is, obviously he's not doing the prime minister any good. Obviously he's not doing the prime minister any favor by doing that. But you see, the thing is, Quinn, the thing is that we don't say anything is people just talk for 9 days and that's it.
Yep.
Okay? Let me tell you, the amount of stupidness and nonsense even politicians themselves have done people in the past, and we forget it unless somebody let me bring it back up.
Yeah.
For example, the courthouse issue. I mean, how much undermined is that? When Pam was in power, and it happened under Pam, and when there was in power, Pam said, "Oh, we're going to bring the issue to the public. We're going to bring the issue to the public. We're going to let people know who burned down the courthouse and all those sort of stuff. Yet nothing happened, and people don't put that out of their mind. The Billy Herbert issue. Some time ago you had elections. And Dwyer Estefan accused some Pam official who were running for office. He accused them of sexual misconduct of an underage girl. People don't forget all of these things. We never used to bring these things on the news. Well, at least the one with the Dwyer Estefan thing. And other things. So you know how much things, even politicians themselves, me ain't talking about friends of politicians, me ain't talking about families of politicians, I'm talking about politicians themselves. You know the amount of nonsense they don't do to people. And just 9 days and people forget about it. Yeah, people talk about it for 9 days and after that they forget about it. So most likely what they tell them, say, man, just let some time pass and people don't forget all about that. And it does happen, that's how it goes. That's how it goes.
Well,
anyhow,
unfortunately, yeah, you were saying, anyhow.
No, we're going to ask if we're going to be later on Voices.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I might call in on Voices, so I'm going to just leave those issues, and once God's spare life, I might call in with other issues. So thank you. Appreciate
it. I'm, as a man, I'm amazed that one can call himself a man and something happens on the road and this man not only pulls out a gun, I mean, he didn't feel that pulling out. I'm a man.
I'm not laughing at that. Huh? Somebody just said something.
I'm a man, right? And if another man pulls a gun on me, I'm intimidated. You understand? Because a gun, it's a gun you're speaking about.
You know,
you
it
understand?
can take your life.
Yeah. But that isn't enough. After he pulls the gun and this woman is intimidated, he uses the fact that he's a man with a gun and beats the woman and steps on her face. What does that say about some men, so-called men in our society? Hello, caller.
Hey, good morning.
Good day.
Good morning, Hortensia.
Morning, Miss Henry. How are you?
Yeah, giving God thanks. How we got over the flooding?
Yeah, boy.
What some flooding and some thunder and lightning, eh?
Serious thing.
Yeah, man.
But we dry up quick, though. We dry up quick. We dry up quick, thank God.
Yeah, because the sun came out with some heat, you know?
Yeah.
So all we have, I live in Newtown. Flooding all over the place.
Me too, so I see it.
Yeah. So now that the sun is out, start to plan what you intend to do to reduce the flooding.
Yeah.
Because the street I live on, you can't come out. The main road, Pond Road, is a river. The water runs down Roxborough Street into George Street. You know, so we got to think of strategies because hurricane ain't reached yet.
Exactly, and it has me concerned. If this is just a prelude to what's to come.
Pond Road is a river.
Mm-hmm.
Water, I'm telling you, terrible. So,
hey guys.
If you know your roof need fixing, start now.
Yeah, do what you have to do.
Now, let me send condolences. I heard somebody on the record said that Sister Sensi mother passed.
Yes, so condolences to her and the family.
Condolences to her. And to all the other families who are grieving.
Yeah.
to my good, my to our next panelist there, host.
Yes.
Quint.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. Condolences to your family. I thought your sister Pat in girls' school.
Okay.
His mother was quite a pleasant person, you know.
Okay.
She owned a store, I think, either on Central Street or Market Street.
Yeah.
Very amiable. You know, she's short and everything. So I want to, so you inherit some good genes. You keep happening that you are delinquent. Well, only one thing you leave out, you didn't kill anybody.
No, I did not.
Right, so we all go out of whatever we have.
Yeah.
And the Bible said, if we confess our sins, He, Jesus, is faithful and just to forgive us and to cleanse us. So we don't have to walk around blaming ourselves, you know.
Yeah.
That is somebody else's job, you know that?
Yes.
When you confront them, oh, where you going on with? You think you know, you understand?
Sylvine, hold just a second. Hello, caller.
Yeah, Quint. Quint, I just wanted to tell you the gun that he used was really to keep the crowd away, you know, because then there was actually people around. And that was to keep the men them from actually going after him.
Wow, that
But
makes
he's
it...
a businessman, you know.
That makes it
he's
even
a
worse.
businessman, and he's currently being held. And if a businessman...
Well, you saw the story? You
yeah,
find it?
on the Jamaica Gleaner. Yeah, once people tell me things, I go instantly looking.
Yeah, and they actually say it's not the first time that he accosted a woman in road rage and pulled the same gun on a woman. So in that case, they need to take that gun away from him because then he might just use that on somebody on the road.
And he needs time in prison. He needs time in prison. They said he's currently being locked up, so he's being held. So
and caller, I'm glad you put that part in because it then means that he, as a cowardly man, while he was doing what he was doing, there were other men who were angry and would have dealt with him, but he used the gun.
There were men around. There were people around, so he make sure he hold that gun so they don't attack him.
Okay. So then that
we know that some of them men will have fixed him. Good.
You know, so it's good. So Sylvine, sorry about that.
All right, guys.
Yes.
Thank you.
But like Greg, some men feel that they have a right to do whatever they do to women.
Well, Greg,
when you start to tell a man,
Sylvine, I'm gonna vouch for Greg on that, and I'm sure that Hortensia can. Greg says that whatever he did to the woman should be able to get a recourse to either sue him and get the maximum amount of penalty.
Look, we have sown the idea in our men's head, you know. Men are the head and women are the bottom. So there's always going to be an excuse when it happens. Now, yesterday, I thought the Labour Party had put off their convention and the caucus. Because, you know, there was the flash flood warning and whatever. So I tuned in late. I said, let me see that bit. Coming on to the end, I found something very interesting. When they were introducing the individual members of cabinet, I heard Dr. Douglas speaking. And I was intrigued. And then later on, Dr. Jew said, when he went to visit the king, he asked about the possibility of getting a third title for Dr. Douglas.
Yeah.
Now, some may say, well, what is that? Carl Simmons get one. We have national awards. I still don't get it, you know.
Yeah.
We have honors, Medal of Honor, other kind of thing.
And Sylvine.
Our people still MBO. I mean, in this day and age.
And Sylvine, that is a good point because I think it was Greg who said that he heard on a news item that the Prime Minister is moving forward for, what do they call that?
Republic.
For us to become a republic. So it is a contradiction that you're moving for us to become a republic, but you're still asking the king to give an award for. I mean,
something. I said, well. What you mean? All the things that we get, they give me one. It's below the the MBO and the OBE, and you're fighting to get us. So, well, the next thing I'm going to be a national hero, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I said we got to stop the foolishness. Our honor, our awards must have preeminence.
Yes.
Rank above anybody else's
I agree.
awards.
Yes.
You know, so that is what I was studying. And does Greg know that Guyana is a republic?
Yes, he's well
A number of
aware.
republics, you know.
Yes.
Trinidad too.
No, it's when you become a republic. If you still got this party, the paramount of the party. You know that term? That was Burnham term.
Yeah.
You know that, Catensia?
No, I can't honestly tell you I know it.
The paramount of the party means the party is above the law, the constitution, and everything else.
Okay.
So that is where we were headed on our first national hero, the paramount of the party.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever the party say, we don't care what the law say, what the constitution say, is what the party say.
Mm-hmm.
So think about it. For Greg, I'm going to give Greg a question. On the day of Pentecost, Peter got up and quoted the scripture from Jonah chapter 2, verse 28, I think it is. In the last day, the Lord will pour the Spirit upon all flesh.
Mm-hmm.
He said, and your sons and your daughters shall prophesy. Was Peter wrong? Prophesy, they mean to preach. The men and the women were given the same ranking, the same calling. So was that an error on Peter's part? That's the question.
Yeah. Now, in terms of what you were saying before about Guyana being a republic and certain other places, I keep telling people becoming a republic is not going to save or change a lot. It all depends on the integrity of those in authority, right? I do wish for us to become a republic so that we don't have it hanging over our heads in terms of decisions that we make and the technicality of it being overridden by a monarchy. But us becoming a republic is not going to change very much if we don't get leaders who are going to be moving with integrity.
And Barbados is a republic, you know, but they still, I don't know. They still have a lot to do with the king.
Yeah.
And they have recently become a republic. So I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, we just don't seem to want to let go this colonialistic mindset. Yeah. Okay, Sylvine. Seems as if the Sylvian has gone.
Okay.
away.
Well, we are over time. We give them 10 extra minutes this morning. So remember to have yourself a great Monday. Drive safe. Be courteous. Be kind. Be hurricane ready and prepared, as Ms. Henry would have mentioned. Check your roofs. Do what you have to do. Prevention is better than cure. Quint, have yourself a great Monday. And to our listening audience, thanks for listening as usual.
Yeah, same to you. You take care and also have a great day.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
Hey kids, it's chubby time.
I have to go to school and learn and play with my friends too. Every day is fun day, 'cause I love my chubby. Chubby, 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 chubby.